Thank you, Julie. So my name is Satish Hegde, and for the last 2 decades, I've been working with various universities and colleges, governments, and international development bodies like ADB or World Bank, etc., in the area of education technology, in fact. So today we are going to talk about one of the very interesting topic. So let me share the screen. Okay. Her topic is how to boost placement outcomes through structured English training. So this is a very interesting topic because if we really see, placement is very important for all the institutions. In fact, India government of India has also focused more on employability. You can see lot many skilling initiatives by both central government as well as state governments. And of course, universities and colleges, they are focusing more on placements. But the challenge is, or the truth is, India's youth employability stands at only 51%. This is as per India Skills Report 2024. And 92% of the employers consider English language skills mandatory for all suitable job placements. Why this is? Because, see, majority of our customers are from US or Western countries, Europe or US. I'm talking about the company or the clients in the BFSI sector or in the IT. So that is why coming from corporates, I can vouch that definitely English language skills are mandatory, in fact. Okay. We work in IT, and in IT information technology, English knowledge is it must have, right? Both hard skills as well as soft skills. So what is the mission? So today's mission is transform your students into globally employable professionals. How we are going to do that? So that let us talk more about structured English training as well. Okay. The placement crisis, understanding the gap. So very interesting data. Let us look at. These are all basically research based. You can Google it. Communication barrier, 80% of Indian graduates struggle with workplace English communication. So this is my own experience as well. I come from a rural background, studied in vernacular language. I'm talking about 1999 or 2000, that era. And of course, struggled really hard to really fit into the workplace environment. But now, even today, we see the same thing. Majority of our students are really good in hard skills. When we say hard skills, it may be IT skills or BFSI skills, whatever. But they can't really express it. They can't really articulate it. They can't really have a clear flow of thoughts. So communication is a major barrier. And of course, global competition. Indian professionals compete in English dominated international markets because skills mismatch, technical knowledge exists, just I mentioned, but presentation skills lag behind. Very worrisome. Employer expectations, usually multinational companies require, they want the graduates, the fresh graduates, to be employable, or the assumption is that the universities and colleges, they prepare the students for the industry. That is the whole assumption and expectation, I must say, rather than assumption, expectations. So when we talk about English proficiency, it is not only about speaking. I would like to, repeat. It is not only about speaking. I'm telling this based on my experience of working with more than 600 odd educational institutes across India. The focus of our colleges and universities are more on speaking. But what happens in the industry is the focus is more on SRW plus, of course, vocabulary and grammar as well. So research based or research backed evidence says that English equal to employability. This is very much true. You can Google and you can get so many articles or research papers, case studies on the direct correlation between the English speaking abilities as well as the salary. Pearson Global Study 2024 says that English proficiency directly correlates with 40% higher earning potential. Okay, I thought of just mentioning one or two. And India Skills Report 2024 states with higher English proficiency, Kerala, Maharashtra, shows 76.47 employability rates. That means, English skill equal to better achievements, right? And better placements equal to higher salaries. So I would have to repeat what evidence and what reports they say is English skills equal to better placements and then obviously better salaries. So now the question is about structural training advantage, right? Why there is a gap? That is a question. We all know it's not a rocket science, right? We all know LSRW skills are important and then English proficiency is important. Very recently, we worked with one of the southern states in India. So the focus of the government, especially secretaries and all, was to focus more on English proficiency skills. So that's where actually the structure training advantage basically comes in. Let us look at how the universities and colleges, our educational leaders, they can plan for structured training, especially with respect to English. The four pillars of placement success. So this is preamble of the structured training, in fact. Okay, so what are the four pillars? I have added six pillars here. Okay, but the major pillars are listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocab. Of course, we all know this. It's not that new thing for us. We have been talking this for the last at least a decade or so. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. They are the four pillars. Okay. So why? For example, say TCS comes to your college for a placement. So they initially they screen with the help of writing and reading or verbal ability. And then of course they do conduct interview or sometimes it is group discussion. If it is a companies from BFSI, after the assessment, after writing and reading, of course, grammar and vocabulary is covered in verbal ability test. And then of course, there will be a GD group discussion and then there will be an interview. Speaking and listening, the engineering student in your college and you want to do a structured training program, English training program, so that Satish can become more employable. So in that scenario, the first day or maybe in the first week, you have to check where Satish really stands. Is it not? Where Satish really stands? With respect to what? So in English, there's something called CEFR. Correct? We all know. No, say there are six levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So talking about the abilities, the standards or the depth of knowledge, you can say. Loosely I'm telling. So there are different levels. A1 is like basic level and then C2 is the highest level. Okay, it's more of comprehending ability. And with respect to LSRW, the levels are defined. So the first thing is assessment where Satish starts. And after going through the structure training, say after 2 months or after one semester, where Satish really stands again, in the sense whether there is any improvement, say from A2 level to C2 level, or maybe A1 level to B2 level or B1 level. So that's the whole idea. Now, the thing is that the good part is that there are a lot many technologies are available, right? Now, in fact, all your students are experts in ChatGPT or Gemini. I have seen the students practicing for interviews with the help of ChatGPT or OpenAI app, which is actually great, which is actually good. So I strongly feel that we all should take the advantages of technology because what used to happen was, say, for example, when I was going to college or even today in the B town or C towns in India. So still the traditional way of language labs are there. If you have say 3,000 students and if you have a computer lab or language lab of say 100 capacity, then utilization is a major challenge. The students, they have to come to the lab and then they can't really spend enough time. And I strongly believe that the learning process should be flexible and according to the pace of the or ability of the student. So you have a lot of technology driven language labs now. So there are a lot of AI enabled language labs as well. Why that is important? Because you can tailor make it, right? My abilities, being a student, I should get the related content as per my level of understanding. Okay, say And then, of course, certification. This is adding value to the degrees. So if you come to IT field, what happens is apart from your BTech or BE degree, if at all you have a cloud certification or if at all you have a Python certification, so you are definitely that shows that the student has affinity towards learning. So it's more of an advantage. It can just open the door. So nowadays, all the colleges, many of the colleges and universities, they focus more on MOOC courses. They give 2 credits for different courses. And of course, you have Swayam Plus as well, which is very interesting initiative by Government of India. While planning your structured English training program, you should also look at whether there is a certification, because what happens is the students they would like to have a certification in their hand so that they can add it on their resume. So that's the whole idea, right? So apart from students, obviously even faculty empowerment is also very important. Structured English training program, it is always better to plan. I'm talking about planning the training program. So better to plan in such a way that the faculty also empowered. The faculty also knows they are also motivated, in fact. Okay, so ultimately, whatever is said and done, ROI, right? So return on investment is very important because ultimately there should be outcomes. It is not the output. It is not in my college, say 200 people got training, not that. So basically, what is the outcome? Outcome is how many are placed, or maybe how many got certified, or maybe how many students really transformed themselves from one level to another level, maybe A1 level to A2 level. Very briefly, I would like to show one of the platform today. So today very briefly, we are going to talk about Lanquill. So why Lanquill? Because we have been talking about structured English training program for better placements. Okay, so we actually focused on the employability gaps among our students, and then what are the skills they have to focus. And then for a structured training program, we have to have a assessment first, and then very focused experiential learning, not only the theory, but also the practice, right? Practice of what? Practice of listening. On Swayam Plus, I'm mentioning that there are paid as well as free course. You can go to Swayam Plus and ask your students to register on that as well. Of course, there's a difference. There's a difference between both the courses. Okay. Couple of features are free in the free version and couple of features are paid. So yeah. So anyway, let us not get into that. So this is on Swayam Plus and this is as per NCRF level 4. That means the students can get 2 credits as well. Let us see who are all using it. So you can see this is IIT Madras and you can see that it is being used by IIT Madras as well. So this is NEET AICT. NEET is National Education Alliance for Technology India. This is National Skill Development Corporation. So you can see Lanquill Advanced Certification in Professional and Communication English, Communicative English Skills. So that is on Skill India as well. Again, I would have to mention that on Swayam, there are 2 courses. One is again free. You can please ask your students to register it. No need to pay at all. Let us look at the platform now. So when we talked about structured training program, so we talked about practicing, literally practicing listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. And we talked about AI because our students come from different backgrounds, different abilities. So the platform or the language learning lab must be accessible on the mobile, and even when they sit in their home or hostel, they should be able to access based on their base and time. And of course, it should give content as per their ability. So all these things are there on Lanquill. Here on Swayam Plus platform, your students can really undergo all these content for free, and they can listen to the content, they can read the content, and they can even take the assessments as well. Skill. Which are the 6 skills? Listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocab. So for each skill, you have content, which is again free. Again free, you can see courses, small courses. Listening A1, listening A2, listening B1, listening B2, listening C1, listening C2. So similar way, so you have the courses for reading, reading A1, A2, B1, B2. So for all the skills you can see. What your students can do, they can go through the content, they can take the assessment, they can take the assessment and they can download the course completion certificate for free. So this is available on Swayam Plus. So now let us look at all the features. As I mentioned, so Lanquill, it has features to practice listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. So in speaking, you have voice analysis, in fact. Okay, you have voice analysis. It can do voice analysis. In writing, it can really do the analysis of writing. In a sense, it can really tell how many grammar mistakes you have made, how many text, same as Grammarly, how many vocabulary mistakes you have done. And apart from that, it will also give you the suggestions in English and in the native language. Say, for example, I'm from a Hindi belt. I write something here, and then if I submit it, it will immediately identify grammar, text, and style mistakes. And then it also tells in English as well as in Hindi what are the mistakes I am making. Ultimate aim is the student should be able to understand or write better English. So in speaking, the student should practice and in a structured way, they should be able to speak in a better manner so that, they can crack the interviews or prepare for examination or interview process. So this is pretty interesting platform, in fact, because this is AI enabled and then it challenges the student. So what the students have to do, they have to practice listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. How much of time or how many months they can do, the students can do. The access is for 1 year. How the students can log in? They can log in with the help of login ID and password. Of course, these features are paid. Okay, even on Swayam Plus, there is a discounted price as well. But especially with the universities and colleges, we offer deep discounts. We do give deep discounts as well. Otherwise, it is available on Swayam Plus as well. Okay, so let us come back. What the students have to do, they have to practice listening, speaking, reading, writing for all these 7 levels, since they will be having 1 year of unlimited access. Of course, you have library. This is more of a theory. So here they have to read, they have to take the assessment, and then they have to complete the courses. Okay, I don't have much time, only 2 minutes. And ultimately, you can take the assessment. The students can take pre and post tests or assessments. And then ultimately, finally, they can go for 7 levels of certifications. So these certificates will carry the name of your university or your logo, and also reflected. And one more very important thing, since I was talking about ROI, right? Since the colleges and the universities, they are more focused on the engagement and the outcome. So we have also given a detailed report dashboard where you can really check all the details, in the sense, all the details like how many students, how many active, how much time Satish spent on which page, or how much time Satish spent on the platform itself, whether it is 10 minutes or 10 hours or 20 hours. Where exactly Satish is practicing? How many times Satish practiced listening? How many times Satish tried certification? So all the data. Not only that, even area of improvement. Okay. So now the question is, why this is important? This is very important because being a faculty, what happens is, if you have say 3,000 students, it is very difficult to really monitor or really to focus on the areas of improvement of each and every student. So being a faculty, what you can do is you can focus your efforts and really plan your syllabus or the content, sorry, your teaching delivery or content delivery in your class. And meanwhile, your students can really practice and then you can monitor it as well. So let me brief again. Lanquill is an online English language lab where your students can practice listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. They can Students can learn the content or the theory in my library. So my library has content, various courses which the students can download, the course completion certificates they can download, and it has huge content with respect to LSRW skills, LSRW grammar and vocabulary skills for A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 levels. And then it also has assessment so that you can really see the impact learning outcome. And finally, Lanquill has 7 levels of certifications. The students can download certifications with CEFR levels with the logo of your university. And then being a faculty, say at the university level, at the college level, at the department level, at the section level, at the class level, at the individual level, the admins can monitor each and every activity. So Lanquill is a part of Swayam Plus as well. Lanquill is a part of working with NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. It's also part of IIT Madras and it's also part of NEET AICT. If at all anybody has any questions, please let me know. I would like to take the question.